He's got a primary challenge from Tim Kennedy. He's got Jack Quinn, a young upstart assemblyman whose father was a popular congressman. Can Stokowski survive?
Well, let me, out of fairness, say what Bill Stokowski did accomplish here. We now know that SUNY, as long as it's been around and it gave affordable education for everyone, we know now throughout the state that it's not in the top academic levels of the nation. That wasn't clearly known before all of this happened. Bill Stokowski also helped raise the stature of Nancy Zimfer, the SUNY chancellor. She's a power. You're going to see a lot from her over the next few years.
She'll be with us on Monday,
and
actually.
well, that's a great choice. Over the next few years, she's going to be very powerful. In Albany, as you guys all know, since you've been covering this for so long, very, very small movement on any big issues. This is a huge issue.
You make a good point.
I would say that Bill Stokowski did accomplish some stuff. And remember, Governor Patterson is the one who brought this up early on. And again, I remember the press conference. He had everyone there, the business community, and the reporters were sitting around saying, what's he doing? He has no juice. Why is he even bringing this up? Well, I think something was accomplished here.
Okay, I feel sort of beholden to bring this up, even though I am really sort of getting tired of this. The mosque.
The mosque.
Mosque.
The mosque.
Okay, who wants to start with the mosque?
Well, the mosque is moving forward. Carl Palladino, candidate for governor from Buffalo, is now airing a television ad statewide, except Buffalo, talking about his opposition to the mosque, talking about his dubiously legal proposal to use eminent domain to stop the mosque. And a poll released on Thursday by Siena College found that 61% of New Yorkers, at the first blush, in the gut, are opposed to the mosque.
But this week's big events in Mosque Mania, as the blog tag on our blog has it, Mosque Mania, one word, came on Tuesday, which of course was a busy day in the state Senate. It was the Landmarks Commission decision, the Landmark Commission's decision not to grant landmark status to the site of the mosque, followed a couple of hours later by a really heartfelt speech by Michael Bloomberg.
Some say the best speech of his career.
Yeah, it was a great speech. You can argue whether or not he kind of sold it, but it was definitely a heartfelt speech against the backdrop of the Statue of Liberty, you know, bringing up the Flushing Remonstrance, going back to our Dutch ancestors and the tradition of tolerance. It was really something backed up by members of New York's faith community. It was really quite remarkable, and of course it's not going to make this go away. There is, of course, a chance that in the weeks ahead, something like gay marriage could rise to the fore and perhaps suck some of that attention away.
Yeah.
It was a very courageous speech by the mayor. This issue will stay alive, if only because Republican Carl Palladino has millions of dollars for his campaign to keep pushing it. There's also, I think the poll shows, if you look at the crosstabs of the people who were asked and what they were thinking while they were making their decision, there is a concern out there. 61% are opposed to it, but there's a lot of people who say, I can understand the position, but you know, it's really too soon, that type of thing. The concern is the action that's going to happen, and whether the mosque goes up, is all going to happen in Manhattan. The rest of the state can be very upset about this, and that'll go on in politics. But the mosque has most of its support in Manhattan. And you saw what the mayor was able to do.
And on that note, Carl Palladino, widely unknown in Manhattan, has found an issue. He's taken a strong stance on it, and he's getting a lot of, earned media in the Manhattan market.
I just have to say, though, you say he's found an issue and he's getting a lot of ink. Whose issue was it first? Not Carl Palladino's.
Exactly. But the point is that Carl Palladino out-crazied Rick Lazio. He took a more extreme stance.
If I could add on the Rick Lazio.
Jimmy Vilkin people not responsible for the Jimmy Vilkin.
A more vigorous response by Mr. Palladino.
I think you
to try to limit the amount of letters that you get, Rick Lazio, I would say, he was first. He took a very pragmatic, a very intellectual route at this. Let's see where the funding is. Let's see what the rights are. Let's see what the... and while he was doing all that, Carl Palladino just came out and said, it's an affront to all America. And that sort of sucked up a lot of the attention.
Right. And also, Palladino has an active plan to use eminent domain, which Governor Patterson's lawyers have all come down on and said it's legally untenable, whereas Rick Lazio is essentially throwing spitballs at Andrew Cuomo, saying, you ought to investigate. You ought to debate me on this topic. Oh, and President Obama, you ought to weigh in on this issue as well.
That part I
Whereas
just didn't
Palladino
get.
has a plan. It's proactive.
So we're almost out of time, but I do want to have everybody weigh in just quickly. We'll go around the table. We'll start with you, Casey, okay? Redistricting, because it's been our sort of pet issue of the week. Nonpartisan redistricting. Can the issue, this nonpartisan bill, go forward and get passed by the legislature, taking the politics out of redistricting? Yes or no?
No. Depends on what Andrew Cuomo says.
That's such a politic answer for you, Jimmy.
Yes or no?
He's in favor of this on paper, but let's wait till he starts talking about it and pushing on it. And if he does, then it may happen. If he doesn't, it'll probably, like so many things, die.
True.
It would take something other than legislature, because that's political suicide.
So you say no.
They're not going to change redistricting on their own. They'd be cutting their own throats. It's been going on for how long? A couple hundred years. Former Mayor Ed Koch has all of the all of the candidates for governor saying they will veto what the legislature does. That's where the issue is going to fall.
So we shall see. Remember that you have heard it all here. And still to come on Capitol tonight, we will be wrapping